But once you reach the end of the film, it is quite frankly mind-blowing. The Cremator is a 1969 film from Czechoslovakia that follows the life of the manager of a crematorium while Czechoslovakia is under the rule of the Nazis during World War II. This is the next video in my World War II series as I review World War II films from all over the world. If you're new to my channel, this is Foreign Film Review, and I basically just review foreign movies from all over the world. My goal is to try and encourage English-speaking viewers to watch more foreign films. That's the whole reason I make these videos. Or if you're someone who already appreciates foreign films and appreciates global cinema and is just trying to expand your cinematic vocabulary and dive deeper into the world of cinema, I'm the guy who watches the movies that nobody's seen and that nobody watches. So I did a review on the 1957 Polish film Canal, which was a unique take on a World War II film. As I mentioned, it's more of a psychological thriller rather than just a straight up World War II movie. And that's what's so great about foreign cinema and foreign films is you get all these different perspectives and all these different takes on events in history and on cultural events and on genres and ideas that you just wouldn't get otherwise. And that case is no more true than with The Cremator. What you'll notice when you start watching The Cremator is the editing style and some of the cinematography choices are very experimental. They're very odd, they're very strange, and they kind of put us in the mindset and the perspective of this cremator. And we see his everyday life, but we see it in this kind of odd way. And at first, we're not really sure why we're seeing things like this, like why the director and the camera chooses to take this point of view. But later on, we sort of find out why, and things begin to make a little bit more sense. This is a movie that you have to be patient with and you have to stick with, and if you do, you will be heavily rewarded in the end. So I have my scale that I use in a lot of my videos, which is there's low cinema and there's high cinema. Low cinema is going to be your comedy action film. That's a very easygoing watch. That's great. That has its place. But you also have your high cinema, which is movies that are more difficult to digest, a little bit slower paced, a little bit more philosophical, a little bit more experimental. This is much more closer to your higher cinema, partly just because it's so strange and just so bizarre at times. I mean, there were times where I almost was like, what am I even watching? Do I even need to keep watching this? But I'm really glad that I did. If you're someone who's new to foreign films or someone who's new to diving deeper into cinema, I don't know if I necessarily recommend this film because it is a little bit more challenging of a watch. It does require a level of focus and a level of critique that just takes time to develop. And that's sort of one of the beautiful things about cinema and learning to watch some of these more higher cinema films is that it does improve your mental focus and it does improve your attention span. And that's something that you have to develop, which is something that is just difficult to have these days in a world that's filled with stimulation. So I think if you're newer to foreign films, this is kind of something you got to work up to. Same thing I would say about World War II movies. If you're looking to expand your horizon on World War II films, and you're just kind of getting into that, I don't know if this is the place I would start. I think this is something I would kind of work up to. But I think when you get there, when you get to this point, this is a movie that you will be heavily rewarded for watching. And that's the beauty of high cinema as compared to low cinema, is high cinema, when you're watching it, it doesn't appear to be overly engaging or overly entertaining at first. It doesn't appear to be overly valuable to your time. But what happens is, in the end, you receive a much greater payoff and a much greater emotion and feeling than you did over the entire course of a lower cinema film. And again, I was sort of questioning myself and questioning why I was even watching this almost up until the very end of the movie, because the Cremator, he begins to do some strange things. Not only is the camera and editing strange, but our protagonist begins to act more and more strange himself. And it really builds this mystery, and you're not really sure what's happening. You're not really sure what it's working towards. The end of this film is extremely memorable, and it is stunning, and it is astonishing, and it's an astonishing cinematic feat is what it is. and it's one of the best World War II films ever made. It's the most unique World War II film ever made, and it's just an excellent piece of cinema. I highly, highly recommend. I'm going to give The Cremator a 9.5 out of 10. As always, I tell you where you can watch these films, as some of them are a little bit harder to find, a little bit more obscure. The Cremator is one of those films, as it is a 1960s Czechoslovakian film. Fortunately, it is on the Criterion channel, so if you have a subscription to the Criterion channel, you can watch it for free using your subscription. If you like this video, if you want to see more of my World War II reviews, if you want to see more of my foreign film reviews from around the world, this is Foreign Film Review. Please be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit the like button if you like this video, and stay tuned for more reviews.